Well, I give everybody a moment to log on, if you will, or catch up. We've got all sorts of stuff going on. I know it is Father's Day, but I was, wanting. It's been a minute. It's been a couple of weeks, I think, actually. Yeah, we did Mother's Day and we did some stuff, and it's just been really, really, really busy, and really just trying to figure out, what's next, what we're doing. And I think it's worked out pretty well so far. But, I can't imagine how busy everybody else has been. You guys are opening and doing all your stuff and, trying to figure out how to get through the new normal and whatever you want to call it. I know that I hate calling it the new normal. But anyway, hope everything is going really well for you as best as you can. And happy Father's Day to all you fathers out there. It's a good day. I've had a great day. I can't wait to share some of the stuff that we are working on. What I got for Father's Day. I guess I got some bragging to do a little bit later. It's been a little interesting because recently, over the last week or so, I was just kind of taking the time to really focus on work and take care of what I needed to do there. And I wasn't really, to say it best, I really wasn't doing anything, not too crazy, but there was a lot going on at work and trying to handle everything there. And I'm sure that a lot of you guys feel the same way. But I just hadn't had the time, and I apologize for not being able to get in there. But if anybody knows what being busy is like, it's this group. It's our group. We know what we're dealing with, for sure. It's like a part of our struggle is trying to find that family time. And, over this little bit of time, I've really kind of I've really tried to do as much as I can to make sure that when I'm home, and not to overdo it or anything like that or say too much, but just to really kind of make sure that when I'm home, the time that when I'm here, I'm focused. And that's always been a struggle for me. But here recently, it's definitely been needed. The kids have been getting out of school. Like, we have had graduations, and it's time for people to move on and get out of a 7th grade or 8th grade and go into high school. And man, it just seems like time is flying. And I don't know if you guys feel that way or not, but it's definitely the way that I've been feeling. Today's shift drink is brought to you by Modelo, no sponsor. I was really having some michelada cravings, so that's where we're at. All right. On Facebook, Samara says that she's in Red Rocks Amphitheater. We still aren't open. Don't worry, I'm not open either. I'm at the Honda Center. I think the bigger buildings, the bigger amphitheaters and stuff, I think they're going to have to come on a little bit later. I think that's the way it's going to go. But it's good to be back. I mean, back in this quick setting on a Father's Day, carved out some time, told the kids, it's Father's Day. Let me just jump on and wish everybody a happy Father's Day. The Mother's Day was really about my wife and the kids and us trying to, make sure that time was special because there's been so many Mother's Days missed. I'm sure you guys feel the same way, right? But today is kind of my day. Thank you, Samara. Today is the day that I was like, all right, what are we going to do? Last weekend, smoked out, had a good weekend, had some brisket, did some pork belly and did a couple of different ways. And this weekend, you know what, guys? I'm not even cooking this weekend too much. I'm just kind of like laying low. I'm trying not to make too many dishes for the kids because every time I like jump in the kitchen, they're like, geez, did you use all the pots and pans? But today I'm taking it easy. I had an amazing morning. It is we're sort of stuck at home, Eric. Sort of stuck at home. We're going back and forth. I'm working a couple of days a week. Sorry to go back and forth. That's on our Facebook. So here's the deal. Today is Father's Day, so happy Father's Day. But the point of this shift drink, if you will, is family time. And over the last little bit, I have really tried to, and when I say little bit, I mean over the past couple of weeks, I've really been trying to, when I'm home, make sure that I can focus on being home. And I want to share something with you about my struggle. And it's not about the family time. It's about staying. And I was talking to Gina about this. Gina's my wife. So I was saying, it's been an interesting time because there's so much going on out in the world today. There's protests, there's, COVID. It's how are you going to open your restaurant? How are you going to feed your people? How are you going to keep your employees safe? There's a lot going on. And I think that, some restaurants and friends aren't even going to open because it's financially they can't. They need to be able to open the whole restaurant or they're not going to be able to stay alive or make the money that they need to. And I've been in this really weird funk, and I'm sure here's the deal. I spoke about this in the beginning, maybe 5-6 weeks ago, because we've been kind of in this quarantine lockdown 13 weeks now, I think, or we're going into 13 weeks or whatever it is. And I am 100% used to going 1,000 miles a minute. Oh, happy Father's Day, Julio. That's my man. I am used to going 1,000 miles a minute. I'm used to having events. I'm used to having, no weekends off. Here comes a prep day. We need to do this for the kids. And then it's an event. And then you turn around and I'm used to more. And I'm used to interacting with hundreds of people, seeing my staff. I love the energy of my job. I love my job. I'm really happy at the place that I work. And I'm really blessed to work with good people. Like, I love my team. I love my partner. I think everything that we're doing is what we're supposed to be doing. And I miss it, right? And, a friend of mine posted that ticket machine not too long ago. And it's like, how so much do I miss that noise that used to keep me up at night? And it's been a long time since I've had nightmares of the ticket machine, but I've had other nightmares. And I've missed it, and it's caused a void. Now, if you had been keeping up on the other previous shift drinks, I had been running a lot, and then I stopped having shift drinks for almost 40 days because I was like, okay, we're going to have to change some stuff because being home meant it was time to have a nice drink and cook some great food for the family and hang out. And so I was like, you know what? It's really affecting my running, and I want to try to run a marathon here soon. So why don't we just cut it out and see how it affects the runs and see how it affects the health and stuff like that, which is great. And then, I ran this crazy half, and I was looking for some sort of clarity during this half. And it wasn't something I signed up for. There was no medal at the end of it. We have these trails by where we live, and I talked to Gina, and if you guys don't follow me, you can follow me on Chef Jojo Doyle on Instagram, and you can see it. But man, I mapped out this trail that I could go. I could do a half there, out and back to a half, and it was about, I think I did 13.7 or whatever, and I had about 4,000 feet of elevation, and it was really freaking hard. God, it was hard. There were points, and in the beginning it was exciting because I had trained on this trail a little bit. It was very exciting, and it kind of reminded me of trying to do major events. There's points in major events that you can't barely breathe because there's so much pressure to make sure that the event is excellent. And I think I was trying to recreate it to a certain point. And thank God it was in a healthy way, right? It is what we do for regular day work is not normal, right? And sometimes we're our own worst enemies, and we're tough on each other, and we're tough on ourselves. And, the industry is definitely not perfect. But I like our industry. I like what it's about. I like what we do, and I love the people in it. And when you go through, I guess, battle, if you will, or openings or big events with people in it, you form a bond. And, like Julio just wished me happy Father's Day. I'll do anything for Julio. All he's got to do is pick up the phone and call. I have 100 people like that have gone through those major events with, and it's like, hey, remember that time in New York where everybody walked out of the kitchen? I was on the last day and it was just you and me. I'll never forget that. And it's kind of been stripped from us. Like, we don't get the opportunity to do it. And it has 100% affected me more than I actually realized. It's mine. I always thought I was tougher than that, right? But I really do think that it has left a good... There was something missing. So the running was helping. And then when I did the half, I was looking for some sort of clarity, like some aha moment, if you will. Like this moment where it was absolutely, you're like, that's it. That's what I need to do. And it was on the last hill, and it was like on the way back, I'm running, and there's one more incline. It's extremely steep, but it's not technical in any route at all. But it was hard, and now I'm barely walking up the hill. And I don't want to go anymore. I don't want to put one foot in front of the other. It's like I can't catch my breath. My legs have already, I had to slide down some of the hills because I didn't bring poles. And, I'm covered. I'm covered in dirt and dust and grime. And, there's thorns inside my socks. And I'm beaten, battered, and bruised. And I still have scars on my legs from some of what the twigs did, because my stupid butt didn't run in pants, even though I read that you should. And I was like, you're more than this, right? Put one foot, keep walking, take deep breaths. You've got this. This is the last hill. And it was very reminiscent of like the first big event I did, VMAs, or, hell, even Thanksgiving at Churchill was like that, because I had never seen anything like it, or the Derby, or US Open, or Super, just name them. They're there. Opening Honda Center, they're all there. They're all scars that make you stronger. And here I am pushing myself to look for that, right? I don't know how many of us out there feel the void, are upset, or like miss it. I know I miss it. I totally miss it. But I want us to know that like it's coming back, right? And try to get ready for it, because I think for those of you that haven't been able to get back, for the ones that are waiting to open, like Samara, she's still waiting. We're still waiting to open the Honda Center. We're working on other things to open. There's some people in the thick of it right now that are 100% trying to just make it happen, fill their restaurant, pay their bills, and stay safe. We've had 4 restaurants in Orange County this recently, 3 that I know of, like last week, that they had to close because they opened and everybody got sick. It's scary. But the one thing I do know is that we're tough and strong and resilient, and we'll figure it out. I guess the long-winded story, if you guys that have hung out with me for a long time know that I can't tell a short story. But here's the deal. It has definitely left the market, and I just want everybody to know it's okay, because I don't think I'm any worse for it. I don't think you would be any worse for it. I think it's just something that we need to acknowledge, that that thing that you feel like you're missing out on is probably that adrenaline rush. I can't tell you how awesome it is to start on the 400 level of our building and walk around and see everybody smiling and ready to do their job, and our fans come into the building, our guests for the concert, and talk to all the cooks and just check on everybody. I miss the team. And I think there's a lot of people that miss their team, that miss that. And there's no shame in that game. That's just part of. And if you don't miss it, then maybe, I don't know, that should say something too. I think I was thinking that, oh my God, I should have done so much more. I should do a shift drink every day and talk to everybody as much as possible. But What I've taken the time to do is self-reflect and really kind of manage some things that I probably needed to handle, right? And I'm very happy with that. I hope that you guys are doing or taking the time to do the same thing. It's been cool. It's been good. I think today will be, a Father's Day to remember. And that's, let me get the next Modelo ready. Sorry. We're having we're just going to add a little bit more. Just going to pour a little bit more so I can finish my train of thought. Now, the family time's been good. Getting through, and actually once I realized that I was missing it, it allowed me to feel the feeling and go, oh, okay, I know what I'm missing. And it's not that I haven't been going to work, a couple of days a week. It's that I'm missing the rush of it. And I'm sure that there's line cooks out there struggling. Now, there's some guys on YouTube's that are on my YouTube channel. And if you guys don't follow me and you're on Facebook, you can always subscribe to us on Extreme Culinary Outfitters on YouTube. And you'll get notified when we go live if I'm not, streaming on Facebook. That have been in the trenches since this happened. One of the guys, we had a problem with his address and we were shipping him a hat, and he's in the hospital industry, so he's running the hospital. And he goes, dude, I can't tell you, I've been so much busier and it's been crazy. And cooks won't come in, and I'm having a hard time staffing the kitchen. This has been the hardest part of my career that I think I've ever had. And here I am. Look at the flip side of this. Look at the flip side for this and look at it from a 360. Here I have a guy in North Carolina, South Carolina, and he is working night and day, more hours than he's ever worked, and he doesn't have enough staff to do it because they're scared to come in. And I'm upset that I don't get to say hi to my team. Two different sides, right? Two different sides of that coin, and that's part of it. I'm just sharing with you kind of my feelings because I think there's some of us out there that miss it. I know that I do. And that's okay. And I'm sure when it's back, I'll hate it. I'll be like, oh my God, I can't believe we're back at work. I'll whine. We always do that. For those of you that didn't know, we put a mask together. We finally got a mask that we liked. And we dropped the mask. It's only, the masks are only $5 or $6 for one, 2 for 10. The reason why I fell in love with this mask is it's wide. It goes underneath my chin a little bit, and it goes behind my head. Up on the straps go up top, and it goes behind my neck. So I don't have it pulling on my ears. I can wear it for a long time. It doesn't fog up my glasses when I wear my glasses as bad as some of the other masks were bothering me. I like it. I'm very proud of it. And you can get 2 of them for 10, not 1. And it does a job. It's got a little metal bar, the top of it. You can put it around your nose. And I sent some. Scott Rosales, who was on a few weeks ago, he's a really good friend of mine. He runs a restaurant. We got him 15 or so for his staff. And he sent me a text immediately and say they kick butt. They're awesome. It took us a little while to figure it out, and we tried a bunch of different ones on, and we wanted it not to suck. So I'm happy that we did it, and we're doing it at a price where we're doing it for just enough, right? And I've seen some churches that sell it for more, and some other people that sell them for more. We're not really trying to do that. What's up, Adrian? Adrian Selgado on the YouTube. He says he misses on our YouTube channel. Says he misses the rush. He got some masks a couple of days ago and some other stuff. He said the masks were pretty good. So it's Father's Day. We put a sale up. A lot of stuff's on sale. You can check it out on the website. Just jump on there and go to it. I'm not plugging our stuff, but I'm really proud of what we've put together here recently, especially the masks. We got a lot of the hats on sale. And before I go and start bragging about what I got for Father's Day, because I'm literally blown away by this 100, like a lot. It was a great gift. I want to say tomorrow night I'm doing a Leave It on the Line at 9 p.m. Eastern Time with Jay Sheffe from Atlanta, and it'll be 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. So I can't wait to do that interview. I came across him maybe probably two weeks ago. He was doing an interview with our friend Jet Tila, and he did a phenomenal job. And he was really talking with Jet about everything Jet was doing. And I thought, this dude's got a great story. I can't wait for us to share it with everybody. I think it'll be something that you all can relate to. He and I have been talking back and forth online and trying to schedule it. He's a busy guy, and I love it. He's a chef and a bartender, and he's got a great website, great profile, and just talking with him we talked for like 35 minutes, just rapping about what was happening inside the industry and what we thought the show should be about. And I just want to introduce him to everybody, and I'm super excited about that. So check us out tomorrow night. Now, today, like I said, is Father's Day, and one of my most favorite things, and I'm not saying I'm a good dad. I'm just saying I'm the best dad I can be, right? I'm the only, I only know what to do when I'm only as good as I wish I was like one of those dads that was just like super dad. And in my mind, I've done it as best as I can. And that's all you can do, right? We all feel that way. And my wife, Gina, she was saying a couple of days ago, she goes, I can't wait to give you your gift. I think you're going to love it. And have you ever gotten a gift that hits you so hard that you like kind of lose your breath? You're like, oh my God, this is like amazing. Now, I'll give you guys a little bit of backstory. So, I didn't always want to be a chef. I wanted to be a couple of things, 100 of a couple of things. And it took me a long time to figure it out. And I think that's okay. I think that's part of the process. And I majored in everything in college, and I found myself wanting to own a restaurant. And I think one of the reasons I wanted to own a restaurant is I wanted a family business, and I loved to cook, and I thought that would be the way to go. I thought that would make me extremely happy. I still don't own my own restaurant, by the way, but maybe one day. Who knows? Who knows? Thanks, Mike and Daniel. People are wishing me happy Father's Day. I appreciate you guys. Brothers from another mother. I grew up with those guys. And when I was young, we cooked a lot. My whole family was always in the kitchen. Everything revolved around food to a certain extent. And when I was a senior in high school, my grandmother passed away right after I graduated. Like I was a freshman in college, and I was very young. And I wanted to salvage recipes. And I took all these recipes and I was typing them. And not too long ago, maybe 3 episodes ago, I shared the cookbook, Food for Thought. And sorry, it's not in the stack. I think it's inside. I've carried this book with me for every restaurant, every place I've ever gone to. And I've used these recipes that belong to my family in different ways, different places. And it's been awesome. It's been really, really awesome it's been amazing to be able to share a family recipe with thousands of people. Sometimes hundreds of thousands of people. I did a lot of these family recipes for festival in Oaks and Derby, and it was a great time getting to share those. And in the story, only I think a few of us knew that that's what was happening. So I have this hand-typed cookbook, and the person that typed it was my uncle, and his secretary typed all these recipes because I had no idea, because my grandmother had hundreds of recipes. So I wake up this morning, and all the kids they come up to bed, and they come up to me. You have to have breakfast in bed. And they bring, gifts and everything. And they have this like giant red wrapped square rectangle thing. And I was like, what in the world do they have? Well, I'm going to share it with you guys, and I'm sorry if I'm rambling, but it's one of those moments where you want to go on and like you want to share it with as many people as possible. So there's one recipe that means the world to me, and it's my grandmother's gumbo recipe. It's called Peg's Gumbo, seafood gumbo to be exact. And it's typed inside the book. And about 3 or 4 years, I don't know when my uncle mailed it to me, but he mailed me all of the original recipes that I had. He's like, you need these, keep them with you. And so Gina went through all of the recipes and she found the original recipe. So the original recipe is literally typed on this right here. Okay. And it's got my grandmother's handwriting on it. And all of my grandparents played a huge influence in my life. That's why I was so touched, because I lived with my grandparents on my mom's side every summer, the day after school ended and the day before school started. And both sets lived in the same town, and I would go back and forth. So when Peg passed away, I was in her house, and I was, when you're Irish and Catholic and from the South, there's more food than you know what to do with when somebody passes away. And my aunt at the time said, hey, do you want some gumbo? And oh, that's a cool story, Samara. Sorry. The gumbo that I was eating was made by Peg, and I knew it was going to be the last pot of gumbo that I would ever have that she had made. And so I'm sitting there in this small kitchen on Seminole Street, and I'm eating the gumbo that she made. And, that kind of connection through food is, I think, something we should all remember. I think we should all try to remember that no matter what you do, we're still people, right? And we all have a connection. Every culture has a fried dough. Everybody has a soup or stew. Food connects us. And for me, my grandmother's gumbo is something that I'll never forget. And there's so many stories behind this silly-ass gumbo. Like the time I made it for my dad's 50th birthday, and I made it from scratch, where I got live crabs, and I made a crab stock, and I cooked it in Gina's apartment, and I smelled the entire apartment up like crab boil, and she was freaking out because all her roommates are like, this stinks. What the hell is he doing? Well, you guys, she took that handwritten recipe and she blew it up. And I want you guys to take a look at it. I'll try to see if you guys can see it. This is it. I hung it in my kitchen. It hangs in my kitchen. That's Peg's Seafood Gumbo. Now, if you guys want the recipe, you can go back on one of our episodes and you can get it. When we hit 1,500 subscribers, Jaden and I did a cooking edition to say thank you for all of our subscribers. And actually, Adrian, who's on YouTube right now, he got to make it not too long ago when we did Ducks and Tucks, which is an event where we raise like $500,000 for charities at my real job. This to me is absolutely stunning. And it shows the mistakes. Like, look, crabs, as it was, I think it had a K in it. Now she went back and put a B in it. It looks like celery has 2 E's in it at the top. I mean, my favorite is all caps. Now here is what I do next. Handwritten little notes. You guys, that speaks volumes to me. And like when I got this recipe, it was something like I couldn't believe it. And it looks so absolutely like it should. Adrian, thank you. Yeah, it's this. I love this gumbo. All gumbos fail in comparison to this one for me. On Father's Day, you're supposed to spend the time with your family, and you're supposed to realize all the blessings. I had a chef I reached out to today, and I said, "Man, hey, I know this one's uh, a tough one for you, and I hope that you're doing okay and you have a good day." And he reached back, "Man, you're awesome. Hope we catch up soon because we're all busy, right?" Just take this time. Just take this time to remember that we're all just people trying to make it work out. And if you're blessed enough to have the day off and you get to spend it with people that you love and those kids that drive you crazy sometimes, and your wife that gave you all the opportunity in the world to chase your dreams, then do it. Or, it's an interesting world that we live in at this moment because everything is so polarizing. But for me, sometimes things slow down in these moments. It's kind of like when I was telling you it was hard to breathe in some of those events, and that you just had to put one foot in front of the other. And then when you came out through the other side of that event, it had changed you. When you look at this recipe, it's very simple. It's not a hard recipe. But for me, it means a lot. It means so much that it's one of those gifts that when you look at, it takes your breath away. And it's so simple. I didn't even know I had the recipe. She went through like these little index boxes and she finally found it. There's some people in your life that are your ride or die, or they support you no matter what, or help you get through some stuff that you never knew that you needed to get through. And I don't think that I could have gotten a better gift. It's such a stark reminder of how simple it really